Hi guys, welcome to my channel Vinyl Beauty, or welcome back. Today's video is going to be one of my vinyl art inspired looks. So if you're not familiar with what that is, or maybe you're new to my channel, I have a series whereby I go into my vinyl collection, find an album that's got an inspirational cover, because vinyl art is so pretty sometimes, and I then create a look, but using maybe some older palettes in my collection or combining palettes together. And then you haven't got the restrictions that you have if you're perhaps reviewing a palette where you've got to stick to the one thing. And as I say, it gives me a chance to get some use out of my collection and inspire you to do the same. And these are my absolute favourite videos to film, so super excited to be doing this one today. So if you want to see which album we've chosen, you kind of know from the thumbnail, but if you want to hear a bit more about that album and also see which palettes I'm going to be using for this, then let's just jump straight into the video. Album that we're going to be using for this video is by the band First Aid Kit. Now, this is the image. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think it gives me lots of scope for a look because we've got the blue and white kind of from the clouds. We've got black in it, we've got green, and we've got this pop of almost neon-y orange on her dress there as well. So that's the cover that we're going to be taking inspiration from. Now, if you're not familiar with First Aid Kit, they're a Swedish folk duo, they're sisters, and they came to my attention with this album, which is an absolute corker. If you want to start anywhere and you want to listen to First Aid Kit, then Ruins is the album, I think. It's probably their most well known, but I love them because they've got such melodic voices together. The songwriting is beautiful, and both of those albums are different from one another, but not in such a way that it alienates you and you don't want to listen to it. Because sometimes I find bands go into a different direction and then they kind of lose me a bit. But they're both so different in tone. I think Palomino, which is the one that we're going to be taking inspiration from today, has got a lot more of a poppy, happy sort of vibe, but still with their haunting melodic vocals and those amazing lyrics as well. So just been listening to this one as I was putting my base makeup on, and I was like, it's such a good album. So highly recommend if you've not heard of them or you haven't checked them out before, and you'll have to let me know in the comments if you're a fan of the band. But we're going to use a couple of palettes in this one. So I've recently picked up the Mikayla Paht 2 from Glamlite, which is reflecting horribly and showing all of my filming background. It's got amazing packaging, but it's very noisy packaging as well. So in this one we've got quite a lot of greens, so I'm going to be taking some of the greens up here. There's also a sort of olivey grungy tone here which I think will be pretty useful, and there's a gorgeous shimmer that I want to use, which is this one called Insane, and it really is insane. It's really gorgeous. So yeah, the greens are going to come out of here, and probably the black as well, and I think the blue tones could come from here as well. This one, No Harsh Lines, I think would be perfect for the sky. But then because that palette doesn't have anything for the orange from the dress, that neon popping orange that's there, we're going to dip into the Surge palette by Blend Bunny, and we're going to use the shade Power for that. So that's probably going to be going in the inner corner. So I'm going to prime my eyes for shadow using the NYX Jumbo pencil. I'll do that off camera, and I'll bring you in closer and we'll start creating a look based around First Aid Kit's Palomino. Okay, so the first shadow we're going to go into is from the Mikayla Paht 2 palette, and we're going to use this shade Bro. I wanted like a army khaki green in the crease, so we're going to start with that one. I'm going to go in with the Singe E04, pack that into the crease and the outer corner, and onto the lower lash line as well. I want a circular kind of shape for this one. I'm going to keep my eye open whilst unpacking this so that we can make sure we can see that, as I say, when my eyes are open. That's a pretty tone though. I'm going to go all the way from inner to outer. I'm just taking my time just to really get maximum pigment from it. It's my first time using this palette. I'm pretty familiar with Glamlite's formula. I have used the Cake palette a number of times, so kind of familiar with their mattes and how they are. They pack nicely and they blend nicely, so we should be fine. That looks a lot, but because I really want to take the shimmers up high, I am making sure that the green is really visible in the look. This is a great brush for packing your first colour on, because you can turn it on its edge to do the lower lash line and also turn it kind of on its side to pack colour above the crease. So I'm really enjoying these brushes. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to blend a little around the edges. And then I'm going to dip into this No Hash Lines, this shade here, and blend further with that. And that's a proper sky blue colour, so it should be exactly what I want. Yeah, I like that. And those are blending really nicely as well. It's not often I mess with blues, and I'm really beginning to enjoy blue on myself. The tones in this palette are gorgeous. The green just a little bit further across. I'm pretty happy with the blend between that blue and the green. I think that looks really pretty. I want a touch of that shade, which is Beauty Kills, on the lower lash line, just in this inner part here. Just want to bring a bit of grunge into the look. Taking that into the inner corner here. Only a very, very tiny amount of that, just to grunge things out a little on the lower lash line. And then just a clean brush, no additional product, just to make sure we're fully blended on the lower lash line here. Now I want to get some depth into the outer corners. We're going to go in with the blackest black, so the black in the palette. Tapping that off because I don't know what the black's going to be like. I think I'll go with a bit denser brush. It's not really doing it for me. I want to get it nice and black. There we go, that's better. I want to go almost sort of diagonal with that black, because I'm not going to be doing a liner with this look. I think it's like sort of diagonal shape like that still kind of gives that effect that you've got a bit of a liner going on. So I'm just pressing that on at the moment, just packing. And then back into that Beauty Kill shade, the one we used down here. Just want to get a blend between the two shades out in this outer corner. And in with NYX Glitter Primer, we're going to create a false cut crease here. Or half cut crease. I'm going to go in with the tiniest bit of this shimmer called Market. Just want a little bit of a transition from the matte to the shimmer, so I think this might help. Packing the very, very smallest amount of that just over the black. And then our main lid shade is going to be this one called Insane. And I'm going to pack that everywhere now where we don't have shimmer. This is just such a beautiful shimmer. So sparkly. I'm just going to tip my head back a bit so we can get right up into that crease. I do like to take my shimmers a bit higher than my natural crease, and that helps you to make sure that you've done that. Now I want a bit of a neon in a corner. I'm going to go in with a white pencil from Colourpop. Just pack a bit of white just in this inner corner to give us a base for the neon. And as I say, we're going to use the shade Power from the Blend Bunny Surge palette in the inner corner. I'm just going to pack that very carefully over that white. It's taken a couple of layers to get it to the opacity that I want, but that's okay. The white base makes a huge difference with these sort of neon shades. I'm not going to try and blend it with the other shades because it's really not going to do that, because it's completely opposing in terms of colour. We're just going to pack that on. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera for something in my waterline, mascara and a lip, and I'll be back with you with the completed look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look and I really love how it turned out. It's not often that I go for such a bright, light coloured lipstick. I always go for deeper tones in lipstick, but I really love it for this look. I think it echoes that inner corner really well. It's the shade Summer from Melt. I've got it in their old packaging. It's one of their ultra matte lipsticks. And I think I've fulfilled the brief in creating a look based on this album cover. Let's scooch to the side a little bit and I'll bring up the album cover and we can see. But I think so. We've got the blue going on, we've got the green, a bit of black and this orange from her dress, and yeah, it was just super fun to create. As I say, this is a series on my channel that I do which helps me to like push my creativity a little bit. I don't think I ever would have thought of putting a neon orange in a corner together with a grungy green look had I not seen the image on this album. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you're new to my channel, hope you might consider subscribing before you go. I do these videos based on album art as a series, but only now and again. I do all sorts of different things on my channel. Trying to stay away from doing too many product reviews all the time because there's so many people that do that. And I'm trying to give some love to some older palettes in my collection as well in the process and inspire you to do the same too. So as I say, I hope you might consider subscribing before you go, but thank you so much for watching this one. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.